It's not every day that I get to talk to my friends who are doing super important stuff all over this world, man. And today, like no other, man, I got my boy Cotorey Tru Story, man. What's going on with you, man?
I'm good, man. How you living, Si?
I feel good, man. I feel good, and I got so much I want to talk to you about. So I don't even know where to start. It's weird because it's like when you're talking to a friend, it's like
For sure.
where do you start? Where do you do all that? Like, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna act like I don't know you a little bit. How long we know each other though?
Yo, we're going
10, 15, 10 years?
Yeah,
15
double
years?
digits for sure.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Sheesh, man. I know exactly
High
where I want to
school.
start though.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanna
Let's
start.
do it.
So I did therapy for the first time last year after my dad passed.
Yeah.
And it changed my whole life. It really did, man. I was one of those people who was like, therapy is for either if you crazy or you want to go tell people your business or you overwhelmed and like you can't handle it, you're weak.
Mm.
So you are a mental health professional,
Yeah.
right? And as a therapist, you navigate them spaces. So how do you how do you deal with the challenges that the African American, the Black community, our community, the urban community, how do you deal with that stigma that they have, man?
Yeah, that's a good question, bro. Yeah, I've been a therapist for about 3 years now. Been in a helping field for about 10 years, helping as in mentorship, discipleship, walking alongside with folks. But to answer your question, I think honestly the pandemic has blew up that stigma.
It did.
But not saying it wasn't there or there's still not challenges when it comes to the stigma of are you going to therapy because you're crazy? There's something wrong with you, or there's something defective about you, and it needs to be reconciled very quickly. You learn, and even as a educator yourself, like it's not in a box. Like our lives are very complex. So I think that question has to be answered with a broad stroke, honestly. And honestly, that question, it I'm starting to see people that are coming in, I would say 25 to about 34.
Because younger people are doing it now.
Right.
Yeah, younger folk are doing it now.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
I think that age group about 25 to about let's say 35, it's like we tried to do it ourselves and now we gotta I call it the
Life done hit.
yeah.
Life
It's
done
like
hit.
it's like the let's try this again.
Yeah.
And that can sometimes see color, but oftentimes what I'm noticing, even for black men that are coming in, they want to deal with stuff that people are saying, hey, there might be something here. You should consider coming to therapy and getting your work. I think the best way I can do is be an advocate for those that want to do the work and support them in that.
Let me ask you this. So there's, as a black male teacher, there's the number's super low, right? It's less than 2%. You didn't know that. I know you didn't know that because I didn't know that until I looked it up and found out that less than 2% are black male teachers. Um, what's the percentage of like black male therapists?
Yo, 0.001.
Oh.
I don't know for sure. Don't clock me, don't quote me, but the number is super low.
I could imagine.
It's
Because for the most part, any business you do, a lot of your business is your people. Like you
right.
serve your people, especially that's a service
sure.
job.
Yeah.
I don't know how many black men are running to therapy. When I went, I remember, it was the wildest thing because it took me like 3 sessions to actually like start talking.
Right.
I was like, how you doing? Good. Yo, man, so why we here? Oh, dealing with grieving. XYZ. Like, it was very so like surface level. And then it wasn't until it was like, I could tell he was getting annoyed. He's like, this man is paying to come here. Like, we gonna talk. And he started telling me like to keep a journal. I don't know if you do that in your practice as well.
Yeah.
So I was keeping a journal. Hey, go. He's like, he'd give me homework. Hey, go work on this. And when you think about this, write down what you feel.
Right.
And I'm writing the stuff down. I'm crying. I'm like, is this? I don't know, but it honestly shook a lot of it. I did a post a couple of days ago where I'm like, you got to cry through it. You got to pray through it. You got to question through it.
Mm.
Right? You got to feel every emotion.
Right.
So you can, that way, when you have joy, for real, you know they can't take it from you.
Right. Right.
Right? So, like, I'll ask you this. Like, as a teacher, I work with kids, obviously, and their families. What happens when, like, what's the consistency on your clients? Like, do they come? Do they skip? Is it a big priority for them? Do you find yourself chasing? Do you find people that are committed? Like, what is that experience for you?
That's a good question. I think I do find people that are committed, some more than others. It's interesting because when people come in, they ask questions. Some
Yeah.
first timers, and they want to know what's therapy about, and what can they expect. Like they're curious, they're wondering. But for the most part, uh, those that know there's something they want to work on, they come in ready. I'll say it like this: I'm in the DMV, and I was at a friend's.
Shout out to DMV.
Right,
Be
shout out to
more.
them. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I was out there, in a healthcare professional therapist. She asked me a question. She's like, "What's the difference between a therapist and a life coach?" And
Yeah.
this came off the top of the dome. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean, like, I felt like God gave me the
The oop. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. He
like,
punted that to you right there.
right. It was crazy. I said, life coaches give you keys to doors that you want open.
Yeah.
Therapists help you find keys to doors that you don't
You
know
don't
that you
know.
need open.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a sense of
Yeah.
discovery with
Yeah.
therapy, but this is a kicker. A life coach, I say it like this: a therapist can be a life coach, but
But
a
a
life
life
coach
coach
can
cannot
never
be
be
a
a therapist.
therapist.
And that's just facts. Because it's like, even to the person who's high performing and needs somebody to give all the best. Michael Phelps had a coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The best of the best have coaches, right? But it's like, oftentimes the athlete is better than the coach.
Sure.
But
Sure.
the job of the coach is to see,
Yeah.
yo, this is your
Yeah. Yeah.
blind
Yeah. Yeah.
spot. This
Yeah.
is what you need to work
Yep.
on. You know what I mean? So I think it's real interesting when someone comes in and they're asking, like, what do I do? Because some of these people are high performing,
Yeah.
but the
Well,
mental capacity.
think about it. You know my schedule, bro. Like
Yeah.
I work out of control,
Mm.
and I woke up every morning, work out 5:30 in the morning, teach, DJ sometimes, write, record music, do all this stuff, and then every night that problem was waiting for me.
Mm. That's
Every
real.
night I'm gonna go cry at night, and I'm like,
Right.
dang man, like when is this gonna stop? So it's like
Yeah.
you can be high performing, high achieving,
Most are.
pop.
Most.
You can do all of that, and then next thing you know, you just like it's still a part of you. It's a component of you that
Yeah,
you
you
can't really.
right. You hit. It's interesting because those that have been through trauma are oftentimes high performers because they running from the hurt they
They
experience.
experienced it at the
You know what
time.
I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
it's like, if I can be successful, the hurt will go away.
for
If
sure.
I can be high achieving, the hurt
Yeah,
will go away. If I can do more, be more, people can see my greatness,
yeah.
then this pain won't speak as loud.
You
But
know what's crazy about that? I literally like, yo, that's crazy because I thought I was being better because I'm not doing drugs.
mm,
I'm not drinking.
right, right, right.
Instead of dealing with my problem, I'm doing what? I'm working.
Right, yeah,
We're
you at
working
it.
hard. I'm working
Yeah,
hard. I'm working hard. So it's like you can run away from your problems to work, but if you don't solve or deal with that issue when you get to later, it's gonna be the same problem, man.
for sure. I think that's something that we need to talk about, because we know a lot of people that have been successful or are doing things or even coming from where we came out of, and like it wasn't an easy environment by no stretch of the imagination, but you had to be determined and you had to be around people that were
Like
going to,
minded.
yeah,
Like minded,
like-minded.
yeah, yeah.
We can name 5 people on right now that you're like they're doing something because they were with people that were doing something.
Yeah.
And it's really important that, well, I'll share it like this. When somebody, back to your original question, when somebody comes into therapy and they're either like eager, the consistency portion that you were talking about, I'll give my elevator pitch of like, what's therapy? So I'll share it like this. I was like, hey, I like to focus on like the 5 A's. Awareness. I think one thing I want to do when you come into therapy, I want you to be more aware. I want you to see yourself. All I really do is hold up the mirror to you and begin to ask questions. Of- That's what therapy is. I'm holding up the mirror. I'm saying, yo, like, what do you see? What do you need to address? The first thing is awareness. The second thing is acceptance. I want you to begin to accept the good, bad, and ugly, the things that you experience either in your past, the hurt, the pain. Um, it's not, the acceptance is not always bad, but it's acknowledging what was there, what happened, and how it it brought or molded your schema, the way you
You
see,
think,
feel,
yeah.
and
You
yeah,
think,
see
yeah,
the world.
yeah,
Third, I tell them, I'm like, we want to address. So we're gonna have tools. We're gonna have different modes of how we engage the mind. If it's CBT, if it's
yeah.
you, I want you to begin to address.
What's CBT?
CBT is cognitive behavior therapy.
Okay,
So essentially, it works with the mind.
okay.
Reframing, helping people see things from a different point of view. So once we do that, we want to, I say self efficacy. Like
Yeah,
well, excuse me, self autonomy. I think self autonomy is this ideal of like you begin to understand your values, your convictions, and your principles, things you want to live by, right? And then you get to begin to live out of them with self agency. So I want to take them through these 5 things, and I say, hey, if we do this, and in therapy, you're not supposed to guarantee
yeah,
change,
yeah.
but what you can do with these steps and say, if you walk these steps out, most likely you will be a better brother to your brother. You'll be a better father to your kids. You'll be better because of these steps. And really, we want you to graduate from therapy. We want you to leave with these skills, with more awareness, acceptance of the past, present, and how you want to control the future, and do that in a way where you're the captain of your own ship and not the pain that you have
And
experienced.
that doesn't lead your life.
Right.
Because a lot of
Right.
people are leading with, like, from pain.
Mm-hmm.
They're working from pain. They're loving from pain. They're functioning fully from pain. To lighten up the convo a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, I'm a sneaker guy,
Yeah, 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 for
right?
sure. I'm in.
You in the warehouse right now.
Yeah,
You're in the
yeah,
warehouse
yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
I ain't showing that. I'll never post any of this
Okay.
because that's how you get robbed. That's how you get robbed. We're
It's,
not doing that.
you
We're not
got you
trying.
got some
Yeah,
heat in here,
we got a
man.
little
You
something.
got something
So,
slight, man.
what um your favorite sneaker and why?
Man, this is a good question. My favorite sneaker is the Concord
11.
11.
Yeah.
Hands down, that.
My wife calls it the worm shoe. I tried to get her his and her of the DMP, and she's like, I don't want that worm shoe.
That is disrespectful.
I have about 10 of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She
Different.
tried to get. She's like, they're all the same. You only need one.
No, they're not the same, yo. Different colorways come with different, you know.
Yeah. Well, the DMP and the Concorde look the same,
Yeah, it does.
except for the bottom. But so she was right about that one. But everything else, it's like, yo, why is
Yeah.
it your favorite? He
Um.
looked clean wearing
Yeah.
those.
No.
Are you one of the people that only wear Jordans that he wore? Like you only like the ones he wore?
Nah, I wear everything.
Okay.
Like I have my favorites,
Okay.
but nah, I like to rock different types. I got about 150 shoes. Yeah, but I think I got like 75
Jordan.
and yeah, probably more
Jordans,
in
yeah.
rotation.
Okay.
Well, you can't
You
wear
wear
them
your
all.
shoes. You
I
wear your
do.
shoes.
I do wear
Is
my
there one
shoes.
shoe you don't wear?
I wear everything. I at least try to. You got to have a fit for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, Jordan, some of those shoes are like loud and it's colorways.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I got a
jersey,
pair of Zen Master 4s that it's like
really?
that's too much.
Yeah.
I just
How long have you rocked them in the last year?
I probably worn them twice.
Since you got them, you had them for
Yeah.
like 7 years.
No. It came out 2 years ago. Last year.
Okay.
Last year. But it's like I'm not wearing that much
Yeah.
purple on a. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Nah, for me, I think the reason why I like the Concord is like first of all, like the 11's my favorite
Yeah.
silhouette, like hands down, and it has been forever. Um, I think it's a good competition between the 11 and 4 because
You just like I'm 1 and 4.
okay, one top three for sure
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah. So that's your three.
Yeah, that would be a top three.
11. What order? 11,
11, 4,
1.
1, probably. I say that 4 and 1 competing.
Ooh, I'm 4. That's my favorite. I have everything you see here is 4. I
Yeah.
have a lot of 4s. Then I'm 1. Then I'm 11.
How do you
Tell me
feel?
what. Go ahead.
How do you feel about like the last year? I mean, it's 2024 going on 2025.
What's the
Probably when
11
this
this year?
drops.
What's the 11 that's about that for 2024?
What's dropping this year?
Columbia.
Mm.
Columbia.
But like, no, I was gonna
So I
ask
did
you.
the cherry. I did the cherry.
Yeah,
I did
but like that
the
drops.
DMP. I did
Yeah.
the cool gray. I've done all the 11 drops
Yeah,
every
no,
year.
yeah.
But
No, the 11
four's still
drop
my favorite.
for sure. But how'd you feel about the way they ran up the 4s? Like in the
They dropped a
last
lot of 4s.
2023,
Yeah.
everything was like 4, 4, 4, 4, 4,
Craft
where it's
olive.
oversaturated the market.
Yeah. But people don't like them as much because everybody's wearing like them loose jeans.
Yeah.
The jean that like flare leg is like all over it. So a lot of people not even rocking with the 4s like that.
Where's that style coming from?
I like it. I got a couple of those pants.
I don't got none of those. Maybe because I'm a big guy. I was like, them look like skinnies.
So right here, you heard it first. Big guys cannot wear flare jeans.
I don't. I mean, they probably could, but I'm not. But no, I think the 11, the Concords is a special shoe. I think all around, like their drops have been always crazy. They always go all out with the 11. I think the silhouette is just beautiful. I have the bread. I have the cool gray. I have I have the 96s. I have the 89s. Is it 89? Nah. The all red. Yeah, the all red. I got the all red. I got the Space Jams. My Gammas, I ran them boys into the ground. I was going hiking with those. I need to get a new pair of those. But the Columbia, the white ones. What's the name of those?
Columbia, the one with the gum bottom.
Yeah,
the one with the gum bottom. That's
yeah,
that's the Columbia. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm an 11 fan. I just think the Concord is beautiful, and then I would say like a hard second would be the bread, like
Bread.
11. Just because it's
Yeah. So I remember seeing the 3 and the 4 like worn a lot. And in that little front where it looked like it's a little loop in the front, I'd see it with jeans. I'd see it with dress clothes. I'd see it with dress pants. I see it with linen. And I just was like, yo, leather. I was like, yo, that's just a beautiful shoe, man. I think the 4, the 1, and the 11. You played sports growing up. You played football in college.
yeah, I did.
Was your sneaker game like that in college?
Nah, man, I was a late bloomer. I didn't start really going hard after sneakers until I moved to Chicago, bro.
Chi-Town.
Yeah, like I was not a sneakerhead in college or high school. Really, I think I was more of a fan.
You didn't do the fake J's like I had to do some of the fake J's. The
Nah,
SpongeBob. This
we know,
one
yeah, we from Florida, South Florida to be exact. Well, Dade County. You
for
from
me, yeah,
Dade?
yeah,
I'm from Collier County, but
yeah. That's no Southwest Florida.
right. And now you saw a lot of that. Remember the you remember the what was that? The what's that shoe, man? Air Force. The
Yeah,
see-through Air
the see-through
Forces
Air Force. Oh,
that
you had
people were
your
copping at the
yeah, the
flea
flea
market.
market. Yeah, yeah,
Bruh, what
yeah,
were them
yeah,
boys
yeah.
thinking?
No, the worst I ever had was the you know how the Dub Zero. Some people don't like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
Right. You ever seen the fake Dub Zero?
No,
It's
bruh.
like it made me not like Dub Zero no more after I seen
You
that.
gotta
It's like
clip it. Like once you
okay,
drop this, you
okay,
gotta
yeah, I
show
got
them
it,
what
I
it
got it,
looked like.
I got it, yeah.
The fake ones.
Cause I'm from Miami. I used to go to swap shop in Broward.
Right, always.
I used to go to
We
Opelika
used to
Flea
drive
Market.
there. Like that was a spot.
Yeah,
That's where right before school started. You
yeah.
go. You only got $200.
$200.
You got to make a stretch. You got to get 6 shirts, 3 pants. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't
two
know if y'all boys
sneakers.
know about that, but
Yo, what's
the flea market used to save our
flea
lives.
market was clutch, man. But let me tell you this though. What's a store that you remember that you used to go get sneakers from? Because I wrote about it in my book about how I went to the sneaker store with my dad. I used to go to this place in Miramar-ish. It was called Just for Feet. If you're from Miami, you know Just for Feet was like the spot. And you go in there, it's one of those stores with the metal detector, and
Right.
that area was like that. And then I remember going in there and just like the smell of that. That's why I love sneakers so much. That rubber smell that you get when you get it. And so, what was a spot that you would go and get? I know you're big on online, obviously
Yeah, now I am.
now, but
Back
like, what was the
then,
spot where like you went to it, and how did that feel, man?
that's a good question. You know what? It was Foot Locker. The was it 2 for $80? The
Two for 90, two
two
for
for
90, two for
90,
90.
2 for 90.
Yo,
The
thank you, Foot Locker, for
yeah,
doing the two for
for
90.
90.
I would get a white Air
Pair
Force and a
and a
black
black
Air
pair.
Force,
Yeah.
and I would go to school every year. And you saved me. You really, really saved me.
Listen, you made it. Even remember the Reeboks, the classics.
The
You had to
Reebok
get
Classics.
You had to get the 2 colors.
Two colors, the Converse, like
Mm-hmm.
the big chunk ones. But
Right,
you
right.
said Foot Locker was the one.
Foot Locker for me was one, and the other one was the Nike outlet. I think it was like the Nike outlet was probably more special because you would
You
go
see all the
there.
shoes.
Yeah, there's so many, and you kind of had to like look around and really explore. It had to be in a
Yeah.
price range that your parents was willing to pay.
Yeah.
But like I felt like I always got a deal or still. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, man, it wasn't the J's, but it was some clean Nikes.
Some Air
Even,
Max.
when you're playing a couple sports, you got to get some basketball or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was the Nike outlet when they dropped.
You growing up in Florida, man, it's
It's
different. Man.
different.
It's different. Like I'm in Atlanta right now, and you gotta be from South Florida. Like
Yeah.
it's a whole nother world.
It is.
How'd you get to Chicago? You went to college for football.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
born in where?
So I'm from Naples, Florida.
Naptown or Napa City.
Napa City.
Napa City.
Yeah. So from Naples, Florida. Lived there from, growing up. I left when I was like 18, 19.
Yeah, to college.
Yeah, I went to college, went to school in Rochester, Minnesota. First time I
Minnesota.
seen snow.
Oof.
That was a whole culture shock. Was there for like 2.5 years. Then I left, went to a school in Kansas, a small Mennonite school called Tabor College. Got my degree in biblical studies,
Yeah.
emphasis.
We're gonna get into that towards the end. Come on.
Biblical studies, emphasis in Christian leadership, and a minor in psych. And I met this cool organization called the Navigators, and went on staff with them after I graduated with that degree. Went to K State, was there for like 2 years, helping young college students walk in their faith, know who they are, discipleship, evangelism. But I wanted more. I think even coming back to bring it back to our context, Naples wasn't an easy place to grow up in.
Not at all.
It was had a lot of culture, but it had a lot of vices that people got into.
Yeah.
Um,
And you're one of how
I'm the
many?
youngest of three.
Youngest of
Yeah,
three.
excuse me, youngest of four.
Youngest of four.
Yeah, yeah, that's youngest of four, and yeah, was my story is unique. Like, was in foster care growing up, seen a lot of things that shaped and mold my perspective,
Yeah.
and a big part of my journey was the Lord finding me, like my foster parents helping me understand and know who I am and walking out faith. Kevin Mendez was a big part of that.
Yeah.
We went to the same youth group growing up, and yeah, there was a lot of vices in Florida, as you know, um, and I saw that. I was around that. My brothers, unfortunately, were really close to that.
Yeah.
And, but I was able to use sports as a catalyst. I think it. I say oftentimes, even as a poet, like sports was my first teacher. You know, we learned how to be on time because if we wasn't on time, we had
You
to
had to
run.
run. Yeah, you had to
You know what I'm
run.
saying? So like, there was this thing where like sports was molding me, and that's something that we even talk about. Like, what are the things that how did it mold me and shape me to be a better human? Um, yeah, we can get back into that, but
Yeah. So you went from Naples to Minnesota
yeah,
to Chi-
Kansas.
Kansas,
Yep.
and now you're in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Some reason I don't know why, but I feel like I've been in Chicago like 5 times the past 2 years, either going to weddings
Mm-hmm.
or for work or for vacation. But I probably 6 years or
Yeah.
6 times in the past 2 years, I've just been in Chicago, and I hated it. But for the first time, I went during the summer.
Okay.
Summertime shy is
It's
different.
different.
It's
Everybody's how
different.
summertime shy is special. I've been all around the
Why?
world.
Like I went on the lake.
Yeah, yeah.
I went to Centennial.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I went to Navy Pier. Is that what it's
Navy,
called?
yeah, he was Navy
Navy
Fair.
Pier. All that's the
He
same,
was doing,
right?
he was doing all the sexy stuff.
I was at a tourist, but I'm a tourist. I don't know nobody. I'm not gonna go nowhere I don't know.
Fun fact, you
What?
know that Chicago was founded by a Haitian man.
I've been to that museum,
Yeah, so you went
Dusab.
to
I went to the
the
Dusab
Sabo
Museum.
Museum. Shout out to the
Um,
Haitians.
I went there for a Chance the Rapper event,
Okay.
and at the museum when they opened it, and he threw a
Hmm.
concert, and I'm like, yo, I like Chicago.
Yeah,
I'm
it's hard
friends
not
with a
to.
couple of the girls or the daughters of the Luster family, the ones that's
Mm,
black royalty.
okay.
Like I love what they're doing, how they're taking their family business to the next level.
Mm.
Um, and I was like, yeah, Chicago's this, Chicago this, and I'm like, all right, yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
I'm also friends with Rashida. She's a spoken word, a comedian, actress, playwright. She's everything. She
She
be on
do that.
SNL, like she's doing her thing. But she's like, you gotta come to Shy. You gotta come to Shy. I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
come, and then I went to the first time, and I was like, yo, this is amazing.
Right, right, right.
Like that's amazing. So you're in Chicago,
Uh huh.
and what's the like the faith scene like?
Yeah. Well, tell me that question again.
What's
I'm
the
sorry.
faith scene like in Chicago? Like, do you find yourself doing mental uh, health and serving people that are also where you're serving them faith wise? Do they
Oh,
mix? Is what I'm asking.
oh, yeah, yeah. Your question is where's the faith
Yeah,
component?
yeah. Well, how do they mix?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So when I left Manhattan, I went to
Man, Kansas.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Kansas. So I was at K State for a couple of years. Once I left there, I wanted to do more holistic, and that was where I was trying to get at. I was trying to do some more holistic ministry. So I went out there, and I was running a faith-based recovery home, helping guys come from like off the streets, jail, and like doing rehabilitation, letting God do the heavy lifting, but being the hands and feet.
yeah,
So with that, I recognized that my trauma started getting like affected, and I
yeah.
felt like I was like, "Yo, you need to go back to school." Um, so went back to school, got my master's in mental health counseling from Trinity Evangelical Divinity
Okay.
School. Yeah, good school, man.
Yeah.
Got my degree there. when it comes to the integration of faith and mental health, I think there are a lot of people in the city that are doing great things in that area. It's something that, as a healthcare provider, I offer. Not everybody has the same faith background, but to those that want to um, connect in that way and that be a vital part, even to the question of like race, people want to feel seen in that counseling room. And I think faith is another component to help people bridge gaps to find their breakthrough.
Mm, yeah. I feel like as a teacher, it's so hard for me to like put faith in it. Like it's okay if they know I'm of it, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't really like
Yeah.
straight reference it.
Right, right, right.
You know what I mean? I'll flat out be in my classroom like, "Hey, boys and girls, he who has an ear,
Let them
let
hear.
him hear it." But it's like
Hey, what?
uh, they respond to it, they
Right, right.
recognize, but I can't
Mm-hmm.
reference. You know, I can
Right.
reference it, but I can't like
Yeah, you
point it, point
for
them to
sure.
it. So that's one of the biggest things, man. We talked about like faith,
Yeah.
right? So I'm kind of all over the place, and because I'm rock with you, that's how you know how our conversations on the phone. This is kind of just like another
Yeah, for sure.
phone conversation. We just doing it so everybody can see.
For sure.
Um, our team took a loss, right? I don't know when we'll put this out, but you know what I mean. And I thought about something as I was leaving the stadium, heartbroken as my team lost. I thought about how, you know, that's such a burden. Like sports has become such a burden.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember players crying as much. I don't remember fans being this angry,
It's
right?
crazy.
I feel like because tickets prices are crazy. I mean, every game matters, right?
What's our team, by the way, though?
Miami Hurricanes.
All right, they already know. Your people know
Yeah,
who
yeah,
you
yeah,
rock.
yeah, yeah. I'm Miami
Okay.
everything. I'm
Yeah,
Miami
it's
everything.
it's it's you over here
Yeah,
all
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Like
It's
they,
Miami Hurricanes.
yeah.
I'm Miami everything. Miami Hurricanes, Heat, Dolphins, Marlins.
Mm.
Um, freaking what's buddies? What's the new thing now? I like Messi. What's that's the team
Oh
now?
yeah, the soccer
The
team
soccer
in New
team. Yeah,
York.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean
yeah.
Miami.
Inter Miami. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
everything Miami.
got you.
But back to like I see these people. They leave like they leave and say, "Oh, he sucked. He blew it. He blew the Heisman. This guy's terrible." Like, do you think like athletes need like therapists? And do they? Is that something that like within all this money that's floating around in college football, at least?
Yeah,
Do you think
NIL.
that's something that they should offer every student? Do they already do that? I don't know. I'm just watching the X's and O's, man. Highlights.
I think they're up on it in
Yeah.
terms of they're getting these boys from the trenches. Not all of
Fact.
them.
A lot of them.
A lot of them
A
do.
lot of them.
Remember, like something with Surferline a couple weeks ago when a coach was like, "Do I want to get somebody who's hungry? Or do I want to get somebody who's starving?"
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
know that terminology and we
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
that mean. That
yeah.
if you just hungry, you're gonna find something in the
Eat. Yeah,
pantry.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if you
Or
starving,
if you're hungry, you can wait.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can wait a
yeah.
little bit.
But when you starving,
Starving,
they
you
said
play
most
different.
dangerous man is a man who's hungry. I mean, who's starving.
Starving.
Yeah, but this context, I think that's
Yeah.
where we at. But I think they know, and I think they should be getting if they're going
Those
to the
services,
gym,
yeah.
if they're going to the gym to
Yeah.
work out their body, they need to go see a therapist to work out their mind.
The biggest thing my therapist told me one time, because I'm like, he's like, how do you deal with what you're doing? I'm like, you know what I mean? I just started going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning every morning, and I'm there and I do my thing. And he's like, yeah, that's a car wash. But when do you get detailed?
Ooh, dang, that's a bar.
I said, when do
What?
you? He's like, which one costs more, a car wash or a detail?
Detail around you 200. Good one, 250, 300.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Car wash, you get somebody to do it for $10. You get a couple high school kids fundraising and do it for a donation. But a detail is where they go deep inside of the car. They dig all over it, under. They get under the seat, where the gum was, where popcorn had fell,
Mm-hmm.
where her fry had fell, and they dig deep. And
Yeah.
that's when they really get the cleaning.
Yeah.
So a lot of these athletes, like, they can go and do that surface stuff, but I think they should have somebody that helps them go and like really get that help they need, because you're in college for 4 years.
Right.
3 if you crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but 4 for the most, 5, like that little area, you might not. That's not a reality for the rest of life. That's such a small
Small
time.
sliver.
And if you're a
Yeah.
college athlete and you watching this, man, my advice to you is take up
Go.
all everything that's given to you, every resource that's provided, every
Go.
platform that you have. Use it to the best of your abilities that you can, because you don't know what after that 5 years will look like.
Right.
You really don't.
It's
You
real.
really, really don't. So I think you touched on it, like you say you hope that they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think to your question, and I'll answer it like, word for word. I think they need to go to therapy. We all
yeah,
should. I think there was a crazy statistic I seen years ago. By the time anyone have lived to be 17, they have lived enough life to need therapy. I heard that years ago. I think the statistic is
yeah,
like way younger now,
for
maybe
sure,
like
for
11,
sure.
12. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah,
things you're seeing
in the
in the
classroom, for sure,
classroom is
for
like,
sure.
yo, there's nothing, it's not going to hurt
Yeah,
having someone process their feelings, their emotions, being able to name what's going through their mind and what they're dealing with, especially with you're in high pressure
environments.
environments.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, these kids now are getting
eighty
the
thousand kids
bag.
telling you, people yelling at you in our
Right,
stadium.
right, right, right. And now they're tweeting at you, telling you that you're
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
Your shoes
What's your
was
thoughts
ugly
on
that
Dion? What's
day.
your thoughts on Dion?
Oh man, he's going. He's right
They're
now.
doing
He's
great. They're
seven and
doing
two.
great. Yeah,
Coach of the year, hands down. He has
yeah,
to win out just because he's doing it as a black man.
yeah.
Anyone else right now, 7 and 2, from being 11, I mean,
One and 11.
1-11 2 seasons ago, they would already crowned him as king. Dion has to go the longer way, unfortunately, but he will win Coach of the Year. I think he's doing a phenomenal job, and the nation and the students, athletes, are excited about what he has created, and people are
Yeah.
going to play for
Let
him.
me tell you what I like about Dion. I watched a press conference. He sat down and he said, uh, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
I want to thank God for allowing no injuries today.
Mhm.
All right, man. Let's take questions. And the people started talking. He's like, up, ladies first. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God,
Talk that.
Dion.
Talk that
Dion's
all
on
day.
another level with this
Yes,
stuff, man. He
yes, yes.
honestly is. He honestly is on another level. He's honestly on another level. And I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, the way he
I'm a,
has set the tone
yeah, I like it. I like it.
has been
I like
ridiculous,
it.
man.
You know what I mean? He's got his kids out there with him and his
Right,
family. Like, he changed the whole program
right,
like that. And I like it.
right,
I
right,
just,
right.
man, I stay up late and watch these post games, like, because normally it's Saturday, like, and it just starts
Hmm.
me up the next day. You know what I mean? He's kind of preaching in these
No, he is.
interviews.
He's talking that talk, and he's talking about essentially what we're getting
Like, yeah,
at, the
whole man,
holistic.
the whole
Yeah,
person.
holistically, he's
Yeah.
like, yo, I want you to be, positive man in society.
Yep.
He's going in. What's your business plan? What you
Yep.
want to do? I know somebody that knows somebody that knows something about it,
Yeah.
and like he's gonna connect you. I think he wants to see them boys succeed.
Yeah.
And I think that is a biblical principle in terms of not just wanting to take from these young men, but what can he give them in these 4 years?
Yeah.
Because at the level with the NIL
Yeah.
now,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
can get the bag,
Yeah.
but I need to teach you financial literacy so
Yeah.
that this bag can grow for your mama them could be straight.
Yeah.
I think it's going beyond the field. It's been beyond the field for a lot of African American coaches and those that are moving young men in a direction that are going to be positive influences in our nation and be our future leaders.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Dion, man, he's like the friend, uncle, cousin, father
Right, right, right. There's a
that I
lot
would
of,
that I would have all I would have wanted in my life.
for
And I
sure.
think um people respond to him on top of everything. We forget when we are watching this man out there, mind you, now he's limping.
Mm-hmm.
He does the thing with the hands
Nine
and,
toes.
the nine toes. Like we
He
forget,
nine toes down.
we forget that this is the greatest athlete ever. There's like
Right.
5. There's Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
There's Jordan. There's Dion.
Mhm.
There's who I'm trying to think who else is like up there. Mike
mean,
Tyson.
Ed Reed. I mean, depending on
It's sport. I'm talking like
just greatest of all time.
yeah, like but
Them boys respected in their
there's like
craft.
top 5. Like
Yeah.
when we watch
Greatest.
Dion, bro, there's only like remember when he's like, there's a Hall of Fame and then there's like another hall.
Yeah.
That's Dion, man.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's Dion, man.
That's
So
facts.
to wrap everything up, man, like I feel like we did a good job incorporating talking about faith, talking about sneakers, of course, talking about mental health, talking about everything together. We really tied everything together, man. And I'm grateful that we got to have this convo.
For sure.
I think a lot of people will benefit from seeing 2 black men who came from nothing. I say I come from nothing. Would you identify as coming from
I
nothing?
definitely would.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I always joke around. I was sleeping on people's floor in college, and now I teach a course in college.
Wow.
Like, God does wild things
He does.
and stuff that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
That being said, man, what's something, man, you look into the camera, what's something that you would tell anybody who's listening, man, anybody that's listening that is like, I need some kind of inspiration, right?
For sure.
And on the Sammy Rigaud podcast, it's something that we try to do. We try to give people hope, man, hope in life, man. So
For
I'm gonna let you
sure.
cook, man. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
know you do spoken words, you deal in the arts. I want you to really take your time, man, and invest in the people, man.
What would I leave your audience with to inspire them? First and foremost, someone who came from the mud as well, I would say God is a God who wants to use your pain and turn it into purpose, your hurt, turn it into healing, and your trauma and turn it into a triumphant story. For myself, I grew up in environments, born with drugs in my system, foster care, learning disability, speech impediment, a lot of pain and hurt that I had to walk through. And now I'm somebody who gets paid to do speaking engagements and in the arts, using something that, like writing, that was hard growing up. And now it has become a catalyst for me to encourage others. I would first and foremost tell you, like, don't give up. Keep fighting. The perseverance that you had to have in terms of surviving, like, you can thrive in that same energy. Secondly, well, first and foremost, like, put God first. Find yourself. Be around good people. And don't let your current situation tell you who you are. And as a healthcare provider, go to therapy. It works. So those are some things, some little nuggets I would share with your guests. It's not the end. So, yeah.
Man, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I value you. I think conversations needed. And I feel like I don't think I would have had these kind of convos if I didn't go through what I go through.
Wow.
So we could talk fly talk, we could talk music talk, we could talk sneaker talk, we could do all that. But I think the important part of why I rock with you, one, watching your growth and like what you've been through, and I pray that you see the same in me. And I appreciate you, man, and I'm excited to see what you turn up and do. Because if I always say if you could, I judge everything 5 years at a time. 5 years ago, I was not in the situation I am today.
Right.
And in 5 years, who knows what kind of situation I'll be in. So
Right.
I expect the same from you. And
True.
even if you don't see me, you know what I mean, and you don't hear from me all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can expect that, one, I'm in God's hand,
Yeah.
and I'm walking around with what God put in my hands. That's how I
good.
like to say it. So,
That's good.
love you, man.
You too, man.
Another day, man. Thank you for being with me today. The Sammy Rigaud Podcast, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless y'all, man. My name is Sammy Rigaud, and I stand on this message.